The alien queen was stunned when a human guard resembled her long-lost love. Queen Zaretha stood at the window of her palace, looking at the stars with sadness in her purple eyes, and her silver skin glowed softly in the moonlight as she remembered the face she had lost centuries ago, the war between humans and her people. The Valorians had finally ended after 50 years of fighting, and now the peace treaty required both sides to exchange guards and diplomats to show trust. And today the first group of human guards would arrive at her palace. She did not want them here because humans had taken so much from her, but the council insisted, and she had no choice but to agree. The large doors opened, and 5 human guards walked into the throne room wearing their blue uniforms and carrying no weapons as a sign of peace. And Zaretha barely looked at them until she heard a voice Captain Lisa Morgan reporting for duty. "Your Majesty." Zaretha looked up, and her heart stopped, because standing before her was a human woman with brown hair and green eyes that looked exactly like Kelvin, her lost love from 300 years ago, and the same strong jaw, the same gentle eyes, the same way of standing with confidence but kindness. "It cannot be she," whispered. But she knew it was impossible because Kelvin had died in the great collapse when their planet's moon shattered, and he was gone forever. Lisa noticed the Queen staring at her with shock and confusion, and she shifted uncomfortably under the intense gaze, wondering if she had done something wrong already. "Your Majesty, is everything all right?" asked Commander Hayes, the leader of the human guards. Zaretha blinked and forced herself to look away from Lisa, and she straightened in her throne, trying to regain her composure. "Yes, everything is fine," she said coldly, but her voice shook slightly and she hated herself for showing weakness. "You may go to your quarters, and my advisor will show you the palace rules." The guards bowed and left, but Zaretha could not stop thinking about Lisa, and that night she could not sleep because every time she closed her eyes she saw Kelvin's face and remembered their last moment together before the moon fell. The next morning, Zaretha was walking in the garden when she saw Lisa standing near the fountain, looking at the purple flowers that only grew on Valoria, and Lisa seemed fascinated by them, touching the petals gently. "They remind me of lavender from Earth," Lisa said when she noticed the Queen watching her. "But these smell sweeter." Zaretha walked closer despite herself, and she studied Lisa's face, trying to find differences from Kelvin. But there were too many similarities. "What is your name?" she asked, even though she already knew. "Lisa Morgan." "Your Majesty," Lisa replied with a respectful nod, and she seemed nervous in the Queen's presence. Zaretha wanted to ask so many questions, but instead she said, "Tell me about your family." Lisa smiled and her whole face changed, becoming warmer and more open, just like Kelvin used to smile. "I have 2 brothers and a sister back on Earth, and my mom raised us alone after my dad died in the war, and she taught us to be strong and kind no matter what." Kelvin had said almost the same words once, and Zaretha felt her chest tighten with old grief. Over the next few weeks, Zaretha found herself seeking out Lisa's company, and they would walk in the gardens or sit in the library and talk about everything from politics to poetry, and Lisa never asked why. The Queen spent so much time with a simple guard, and Zaretha was grateful for that. One evening, they sat on the balcony watching the sunset, and the sky turned shades of orange and pink that existed on both their worlds. "Your Majesty, can I ask you something?" Lisa said quietly. Zaretha nodded and braced herself. "Why do you look at me like you have seen a ghost?" The Queen was silent for a long moment, and then she decided to tell the truth, because carrying this secret was becoming too heavy. "You look exactly like someone I loved very much," she said softly, "and he died 3 centuries ago, and I thought I would never see that face again." Lisa's eyes widened with surprise and sympathy. "I am sorry for your loss," she said. "And even though it happened so long ago, I can see it still hurts you." Zaretha laughed bitterly. "Time means nothing when you live as long as we do, and Valorians can live for thousands of years. So 300 years feels like yesterday." Lisa reached out and gently touched the Queen's hand, and the touch was warm and real and so different from the cold loneliness Zaretha had lived with. "Maybe I am not him," Lisa said carefully, "but I am here now, and maybe that means something." Zaretha looked at her and realized that Lisa was right? Because this was not Kelvin, and Lisa had her own story, her own strength, her own kindness that had nothing to do with a dead man from centuries ago. "You are right," she said. And for the first time in 300 years, she smiled a real smile. "And you are not a ghost, and I should not treat you like one." From that day forward, everything changed, and Zaretha stopped comparing Lisa to Kelvin. And instead, she got to know Lisa for who she really was, and she learned that Lisa loved music and had a terrible sense of direction and could make her laugh with silly jokes. Lisa learned that Zaretha was not the cold, distant queen everyone thought she was, but someone who had been hurt deeply and was afraid to care about anyone again one night. During a festival, Zaretha asked Lisa to dance, and they moved together under the stars while musicians played ancient songs, and everyone watched in amazement because the queen never danced with anyone. Lisa looked up at Zaretha and said, "I think I am falling in love with you." Zaretha stopped dancing and her heart raced because she had felt the same way but was too afraid to say it. "I think I am falling in love with you too," she whispered, "and this time it has nothing to do with the past." They kissed under the starlight, and it felt like the beginning of something new and beautiful. The council was shocked when Zaretha announced she wanted to bond with a human, and many opposed it, saying it would weaken their traditions. But Zaretha stood firm. "Lisa has shown me that love does not care about species or time," she told them. "And if we can find peace between our peoples, why can we not find love?" Eventually the council agreed, and the bonding ceremony was held in the Grand Hall with representatives from both Earth and Valoria watching as Zaretha placed the silver bond ring on Lisa's finger. She realized that sometimes the universe gives you a second chance, not to replace what you lost, but to find something new and equally precious. Lisa smiled at her and said, "I am honored to stand beside you, not as a replacement but as myself." And Zaretha knew that she had finally let go of the past and embraced a future she never thought possible with someone who looked like a ghost, but was entirely her own person, brave and kind and real. Together they would lead their peoples into a new era, and their love would be a symbol that even after the darkest wars, hope and healing were always possible.